Welcome to the Banker's View from Sibos video series, providing insight into the main areas of discussion at the conference in Geneva. I'm Joy McKnight, Transaction Banking Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Gavin Maclean, Head of Cash Management Payment Product for Global Transaction Banking at Lloyds Bank, to talk about global real-time payment trends. Gavin, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell me a little bit about, obviously the UK has had faster payments since 2008. How has that developed, and really what has been the impact on corporate clients?
Yeah, I mean, faster payments in the UK is terrific, isn't it? I mean, I think the biggest testament you can pay, or credit you can pay to faster payments in the UK, is that you just can't imagine now what we would be doing without immediate payments in our life. Everything else is becoming instantaneous, 24 hours a day, real time, and payments is no different. And since 2008 in the UK, May of 2008, we've had the faster payment scheme. It went from a relatively slow start to now processing 1.2 billion transactions in 2015. And to put that in perspective, compared to its bigger brother or sister, the BACS scheme, it has grown from a standing start in 2008 to being half as big as the BACS scheme that's used for almost every salary payment in the UK in the space of just 6 years. So it really has had a tremendous start to life in the UK, and it's transformed things for consumers and corporates alike.
Okay, and then the impact on corporates itself, has it changed their business model at all? Or?
Yes, it has. So our experience as consumers with instant payments has led to changes in the corporate world as well. So the fact that you and I could exchange a payment, exchange value instantaneously, sets expectations that the businesses and corporate organisations that we deal with as consumers can do the same. So in the early stages of faster payments after 2008, like any new product or technology, you had the usual adoption curve. There was your early adopters who got on it really, really quickly and used it in many ways to differentiate their propositions in the market. So offering immediate settlement where their competitors were maybe still sitting with 2, 3, 4 and 5 day processes allowed the more advanced corporates to get a competitive edge using faster payments. And of course, it's now become much more the norm. As we get refunds from organisations, as we receive settlements from organisations, it's much more common now that would happen instantly over faster payments. It's not all been upside, Joy. There have been adaptations that corporates have had to make. So back before 2008, a corporate treasurer or a cash room or an accounts payable department could live quite safe in the knowledge that everything would happen in batches on predictable timescales. And so when they got into the accounting system at 10 o'clock in the morning, everything largely that was going to happen that day had happened that day right at the start of the day. Of course, now that as consumers we might nip out on our lunch hour and pay money into our credit card or pay our gas and electricity bill or any other form of payment, we can do that on the move, mobile, instantly. And clearly as the recipient of that payment, that requires changes to the back office processes, the reconciliation and the accounting processes that corporate organisations use. So it's provided real opportunity for proposition uplift, but there have also been changes in the back office that corporates have had to get used to.
And what are the changes that are coming through in terms of the faster payment service here in the UK?
So I think in the UK what we'll see is more access models. So when faster payments was set up back in 2008, it was a network of banks that set it up. That's much more open now. So you'll see other service providers being able to offer faster payment services directly to end consumers. And also there's then a range of possible opportunities that could happen with a faster payment scheme. So the creation of a debit code. At the moment, it's used very much for pushing payments, but actually you could well see it being used to pull payments to the requester. Other things that may come along as well would be request to pay or assuring the identity of the end account holder that's being paid. And of course, with with the introduction of PSD2 on the horizon and the possibility of payment initiation service providers, the faster payment rails, as we would call them, are set to play a big role in facilitating the payments that those new propositions may well bring about.
Okay, and the faster payments move is now going global.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of initiatives in whether it's Singapore, Australia, in the EU itself, and then obviously the US. How do you see this sort of playing out in the future?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we should take enormous pride as the UK that, you know, we've been one of the very early markets to create a faster payments infrastructure. And it's great to see that other markets are now adopting the same thing. I think the way I see it playing out, clearly the priority for any market that's looking to create an instant payment or an immediate payment capability is first and foremost for their domestic market. So if you're in the US, that's primarily aimed at US corporates and consumers. If you're in Australia, you know, same thing. The way you could see it playing out is that actually the capability to join up those markets and join up the immediate payment services that land in each of those jurisdictions, that could be really powerful for consumers and corporates alike if we can get the market participants to work together, to operate to some common standards in order to make the service work seamlessly across different markets as it works very well in single markets like the UK.
Okay, and then what else is happening in terms of improving the efficiencies of cross-border payments?
Yeah, so in the world of fintech, there are new propositions emerging. So whether that's new payment networks that don't use the traditional interbank connectivity, whether that's some of the early adoption that we've seen using blockchain technologies to do payments and settlements. There's new models and methods of operating cross-border payments happening as well. But even on the traditional methods of making cross-border payments, things aren't standing still either. So the industry, the banks are collaborating through the SWIFT members network to look at enhancements to the speed, to the certainty, to the execution and the visibility of payments. So I think everyone realises that this innovation and this progression is upon us. It's a question of which of the old and new combine effectively to give consumers and corporates the propositions that are going to need going forward.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining me, Gavin.
Thank you, Joy. Pleasure.